Hi! Hi, Quilt Roadies! Well, I know it seems like a little bit soon for me to be back already for another episode, but I have some exciting things to share with you, and I couldn't wait. So here we go. So at the beginning of this video, you saw a clip of some fabric I had cut up. So I'm going to explain all of that in a moment, but I did receive an email from the Fat Quarter Shop. I had seen something on their website, and if you are not signed up for their newsletter or website, you need to do that because there are some fun things out there coming up. And I have gotten hooked on the Jolly Bars. Now, you know, I made this quilt here out of a Jolly Bar, and it was the first time I'd ever used that. And so you might say, what is a Jolly Bar? A Jolly Bar is one half of a layer cake. And what's a layer cake? It's a bunch of 10-inch squares cut up. So they will take a whole fabric line, a designer, you know, I probably am being redundant here, but a designer designs a line of fabric, and they will package it in different ways to appeal to different crafters and quilters. Jelly rolls, layer cakes, and Jolly Bars. Now, I had never had Jolly Bars on the radar until I saw this Jolly Bar. And because my color of the year was blue, I was immediately attracted to that. And I was truly amazed at how easy it went together. And so I have continued on the Jolly Bar. Plus, it sounds like something fun to eat too. So, yeah. And why don't we like fabric that sounds like something good to eat? I don't know. But what happened was I was on the Fat Quarter Shop and I saw, which I didn't know. Now, when you order a Jolly Bar on the Fat Quarter Shop, it comes with usually a free pattern in it. And that's how I got this pattern. I didn't have a clue that there was actually Jolly Bar books. Yeah, I don't know why, but I didn't. And so as I researched it and realized that there were actually books with several patterns for Jolly Bars, I was like 100% on the Jolly Bar. Yeah. And there are, in fact, 3 issues, 3 volumes of Jolly Bar quilts. And they, I love that they're shaped like the Jolly Bar. It's just, I mean, they're so easy, yet they are fun to put together. So I got volume 1, 2, and 3 of the Jolly Bar books, and Fat Quarter Shop is going to give one of you the set of Jolly Bar books. So if you are interested in getting a set of the Jolly Bar books mailed directly to you, use the word jolly in your comment. And please be a subscriber of this channel and a subscriber to the Fat Quarter Shop. So what else did I get? Well, I saw these Jolly Bars. And, you know, they have all kinds. Because, and besides the fact that any layer cake could be made into a Jolly Bar. It just rolls off the tongue really fun, doesn't it? But the reason I loved this Jolly Bar, color of the year is blue, but it's called Cascade by the 3 sisters. And I mean, we live and have lived for decades in the Cascade Mountain region. And so I just Yeah, it appealed to me. So I have my Jolly Bars ready. I have, the only thing I didn't get, which I am going to be searching for, is a background fabric. Because I've decided that the background fabric that I want is a creamy color there. I know it seems like, hey, my color of the year is blue. So if you're interested in a set of the Jolly Bar books, use Jolly in your comments. If you're interested in a $35 gift card from the Fat Quarter Shop, again, subscribe to this channel and to Fat Quarter Shop. That's just the right thing to do. Make sure you're subscribed, because sometimes they, for whatever reason, the algorithm kind of kicks you off. And then just use Fat Quarter Shop in your comment, and that'll be fun to see who gets to go down the Jolly Bar. I mean, it's a non-alcoholic bar. There's so many things you could do with that, isn't there? Besides that, the other reason I'm here is I got so many questions about the quilt that I was making for Lukey, the One Block Wonder quilt. And I made a mistake. I sent you down a rabbit hole that had no exit. That sounds kind of strange, doesn't it? But I looked at the back of the pattern, and the website was there, and so I put the link in the drop-down description box for the website of the pattern. But then I got a comment that they couldn't find it on that site. And so I went on that site and I couldn't find it either. This is going to be kind of a mystery, like a British mystery or something. So I dived down that rabbit hole to figure out what was going on. The first thing I did was I searched the website that's on the back of the pattern, and I could not find anything that related to this pattern, and it looked like it was written by the owner of the website. So then I called, I figured out the website, and I called, and it was in Texas. And I explained my whole dilemma to the person who answered the phone, and she was so funny, because she goes, "Oh, this is above my pay grade. I'm going to pass your information on to the owner of the shop." So 10 minutes later, I get a call from the owner of the shop, who has no idea what's going on. But in that 10-minute period where I was waiting, I just kind of did one of those mystery searches on Google, looking for what's going on with this pattern, who are these people, why is this pattern. I did the deep dive. Come to find out, this pattern was written by the owner of the quilt shop that my quilt group absolutely loved, that was in Lincoln City, Oregon. And that shop has been closed for over a decade. And the phone number, I called the phone number, and it is no longer in service. It was a great shop. It really was a beautiful shop. And that's probably where I originally got the pattern from, because we used to take retreat on the coast, and that was one of our favorite stops. So by the time the owner, yeah, this is a chapter book of explanation. By the time the owner of the shop in Texas called me back, I had the answer. And so I was telling her about the pattern, and she says, no, we don't carry that. But she says, I wish we did, because people have already been asking about it because of the video that I put out. And I said, it's interesting because your website was the original website in Oregon that has not been in service for so long that I guess you get to use it. But I didn't want to break any copyright issues. But she said, I don't think there's a problem because it doesn't exist anymore. And I tried to call the number's disconnected. So this is what I'm doing. I'm going to explain to you how I put together Lukey's quilt. So get a piece of paper and a pencil, and this will be a mini tutorial on putting together a quilt with one block. Okay, you ready? Go potty, get a drink, put this video on pause, get a piece of paper and a pencil. Are you back yet? Okay. The whole quilt is made out of 4.5 by 2.5 inch rectangles, the entire quilt. So what I did was I went to Joann's because they have licensed fabric, and I wanted to do the Spider-Man. And for the other two toddlers in my life, I wanted to do Mickey Mouse, Mickey and Minnie Mouse. And so that was licensed fabric. So I went to Joann's and to the licensed fabric area, and I bought half yards. And once I bought half yards of, like the licensed fabric, it was then a matter of buying fabrics that went with it. And those I bought half yards. So I bought half yard, and I'm going to have a lot of rectangles left over, but they can be used for other things, other quilts. And it took me exactly an hour to cut up all of the half yards. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 half yards. And I cut them all into 2.5 by 4.5 inch squares. So like I have a pile, 2.5 by 4.5. Still writing down? When you've quilted for any length of time, one of the things you pick up as a quilter is value of fabric, and by value I mean light, dark, medium. Now there are, like I have a plexiglass red little thingamajig, it's an official term, and you can look through that and see the value of fabric. But when you've been doing it for so long, you kind of know. You know that this is a light or medium and this is a dark. Yeah. So I just made sure that I had a wide variety of value. And then I didn't stress one moment. I cut up everything into 2.5 by 4.5 inch squares. I will have quite a bit left over, but then I just put it in a box for a future put together. Everything's then already cut. Sometimes when I've gone to a quilt retreat, there are certain members, not me, who worry about light and light being next to each other or dark and dark. They really want it patterned. But here's the thing. This is for a toddler. And they're going to pee on it, poop on it, and puke on it. and sleep on it and love on it. So I'm not going to stress about it. And on Luke's quilt, I didn't even think about what was going together until about the last 10 blocks. And then I had a big enough pile left that I could kind of fussy put it together. But otherwise, when you lay it out, I didn't even, I just tried not to butt too many things up together unless they had a solid look to it, if that makes sense. And, you learn a lot from other people. There is a video channel called Conquering Mount Scrapmore, and she is fabulous about being free, less stress. You can actually even call this like an art quilt. So the first two things I did was I decided it only took an hour to cut everything up, and then to make it not a job, I did 10 blocks a day. So for Luke's quilt, I put together 10 blocks a day, and that would take me half an hour. For a toddler quilt, like a throw size quilt, it took 48 blocks. So in the last day I did more than 10, because it took 5 days to put the whole quilt together, which is, and 5 days of like an hour each morning. So it wasn't like you had to commit. It wasn't like a relationship. It was just fun. It was absolutely fun. So I have them all piled, as you saw at the beginning of the video. And all I do is I pick up whatever ones I want to do, and I sew them together like this. I would call this end to end or butt to butt. And so I sewed 10 of them like this. Different ones together, And once I had those sewn together, I just put that pile aside, because that's going to go on the outside. You can do that at the end too. You don't have to do it at the beginning like I did. You don't have to. But this quilt is a no-brainer. So if you just wanted to start from step 1, what you do is you sew 2 pieces together lengthwise. You finger press them open, and then you sew one of the 2.5 by 4 inches on the end. So you get that? It's all 2.5 by 4.5. So this and this. Then you're going to sew another one on this end. And once you have that long piece that's going to look like this, then you're going to take one of these pieces that you sewed together and sew it on the edge, like that. It's chain piecing. That's why it goes so fast. So when you sew the ones that are long on either side, you get a block like this. So again, 2.5 by 4.5. Just stop the video right here and get a piece of paper and pencil out and just draw it. It's 2.5 by 4.5 every single block. And so I tried to keep the colors, you know, kind of away from each other, trying not to use too many of the same colors. But later on down, I might end up using ones that are closer together. So I have my whole pile right now, like this, that all need the other side. And then it's going to be 10 blocks will be done. So I'm going to say it again. All the fabric is cut 2.5 by 4.5 inch rectangles. And then they're sewn together like that. Now when you get all the blocks sewn together, the way you put the quilt together is you lay one block like this next to a block that's laid like this. And then the block that's next to this is laid like this. And this way, you have that alternating look to it, and you don't have to worry. So it's all going to look like this. Now I wanted to tell you, so there's also, okay, so here's some more information. Write down on your piece of paper. For crib size, it's 4 blocks. And by blocks, they mean 4 of these by 5 blocks. That's crib size. Lap size is 6 blocks by 8 blocks. And that's the size that I made for Lukey. And it's a great size. Twin size, they want 8 blocks by 10 blocks. And queen size is 10 blocks by 11 blocks. It's just this block that's alternated. This way, this way, this way, this way. So you end up with a really fun, easy quilt. I was truly amazed by how quickly it went together, and I'm really looking forward to this. Once these are done, then my next block, one block quilt, is going to be the flannel that I showed you last time. That's going to be for me. I just think that's going to be so fabulous. So that's really why I'm here today. I finally got the beehive kind of picked up. It was looking challenging to get in here. And I still have not, you know, I could swear, this is the thing. I'm not swearing, but I could swear that I bought a Kathy Schmidt pattern to make a needle roll. I know I did, because I got the fuzzy trim for it, and for the life of me, I can't find it. I wonder if it's at Cheryl's house. I wonder if it got in her bag. But I need that needle roll, so I've got to look for it. I've torn apart the beehive. I've cleaned it up. I've kind of felt, you know, a little bit smug by how clean it looks. But for the life of me, I cannot find that pattern. It was a needle roll that was embroidered on the outside and had fuzzy trim. Have you seen it? Yeah. Don't know what happened to it. Anywho, thank you for stopping by. I hope that that answers everybody's questions about that quilt. It was quite a mystery, and it took me down memory lane, and I got to talk to a shop owner in Texas who was quite happy, who said maybe we'll sell some other patterns or fabric to people who are calling up. And don't forget, in the comments, you want to put Jolly and Fat Quarter Shop for the two different giveaways, the Jolly Bar book set or the $35 gift card. Hope you guys are doing well. Hope the weather is under control where you live. I hope your house is still standing. Oh my gosh, it's been such a weird year, hasn't it? But you all take care, and we'll see you next time. Love you guys.